Hey, what's going on, guys? Sean Mathis here, and I'm super excited to have an opportunity to bring a good friend of mine, Chastin Miles, to the call and really help give you guys some insight into the inner workings of a top real estate, somebody who's been nationally recognized, who not only has a great team, but also helps real estate agents grow their business all over the country. Chastin, I think we've been working together for probably 4 or 5 years now, maybe even longer. And I remember watching Chastin put together his first video. And as we were talking before this call, took a look at his YouTube page, and we're going to show it to you guys. Chastin has over 1 million views and over 20,000 subscribers, and they're all real. They're no bots or play bots or anything like that. Just consistent work, and he's really just this shiny example that I use all the time of what you really want to principles that you really want to use to grow your business, to build a strong brand, to stay consistent. And it's just been awesome watching Chastin continue to grow and develop, both as a real estate agent and as a marketing expert, and now taking what he's learned and teaching other real estate agents. But I want to share his story with you so you guys can kind of understand some context and where he's coming from, but then help you understand what people like Chastin are looking for in referral partners, what they want out of an insurance agent, what they want out of a mortgage lender. You know, there's a lot of talk about what the best approach is to working with top real estate agents and loan officers. And listen, there's no debate that the best way to grow your insurance agency is with strategic partnerships and working with top real estate agents and loan officers. Obviously, they're a consistent flow of business. Their business is good business. They've got good credit. They've got good scores. The closing rate is enormously high compared to any other avenue. But the problem is most insurance agents don't have a definitive process or a system to get in front of real estate agents and loan officers. And there's a terrible misconception that the best way to get in front of top producers is by learning how to generate leads on Facebook. Guys, that was cool about 5 years ago, but I'm here to tell you, and Chastin will share some insight as well. Generating Facebook leads is not the best way to get in front of a top real estate agent or loan officer. Sure, it might enhance, it might help, it might be a piece of the strategy that you bring to the table, but if that's your smoking gun, you're not going to find a top real estate agent or loan officer to give you the time of day based on the fact that you know how to generate Facebook leads. And we're going to tell you a little bit about why that is, and show you what a marketing expert and a top producer, how they generate their business, where their deals are coming from. And 5 years ago, Facebook was a new thing and it was great, but there's been so many clampdowns in the real estate world. The quality of leads have diminished. The saturation is enormous. And the top producers, and when I say top producers, I'm talking about people who are doing, 10, 15, 20, 50, or 100 deals a month. Your 1 and 2, a month producers, those guys might still be using and leaning on Facebook leads as a primary source of business. But the guys at the top, that's just a small piece of the pie and the overall strategy. So that said, Chastin, thank you so much. I know that you're busy. We will definitely respect your time and get you out of here. But tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got into real estate. I love hearing your story, and the enormous amount of work that you've done. And I think a lot of what's helped you get to where you're at today is because of your marketing, because of your branding. And so I think you're a great person to speak on the best ways to grow your business as an agent and really how you got to where you're at.
Absolutely, Sean. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to collaborate with you on these webinars and videos and stuff. And you have been a great asset to even my development from years ago. So I definitely appreciate and I love working with you. But yeah, so Chastin J Miles is my name. I actually began real estate around 6 years ago. And, I was just that kid in college, kind of not really doing anything. Well, I wasn't doing a lot of stuff, but it wasn't anything productive. And, I was kind of going down the wrong path and just decided that I wanted to change up everything. So I up and one day decided to move to Texas. And decided to get in real estate when I got to Texas. Little did I know that real estate was a business around relationships and, kind of who you know, and even knowing the areas. I didn't know anything. I didn't have any friends here. I didn't know the streets, none of that type of stuff. But I became a real estate agent. I went and got my license, spent literally my last trying to get this license, thinking that all these doors are going to open up and life was just about to become grand. But that wasn't the case. I mean, in actuality, just to get a little bit ahead of myself, I only closed maybe one deal my whole first year in real estate. But I knew that there was an opportunity somewhere, especially with marketing, branding, and social media. This was during the time when, Facebook was definitely there, Twitter was there, but people weren't necessarily using it the way that they're using it now. YouTube, people weren't necessarily using it to promote businesses, or realtors were still being super stuffy and being real secretive and just making everything look real glamorous. And then here I come along, starting to talk about my struggles and starting to put myself out there in a way that was kind of foreign to a lot of people in my market. And so it got me a lot of attention. It got me a lot of attention with the videos and the branding and social media, and my business began to grow. So like that first year, 0 homes. I mean, well, 1 home. So I want to say second and a half year, then it just kind of exploded. I mean, it went 0 to 60, just almost seeming like overnight. It wasn't overnight, but it was a true struggle that literally I had to go through from getting that license to closing my first deal. I mean, back and forth with quitting and all that kind of stuff. And then I was a young guy. I mean, I'm still kind of young. I look even younger than I actually am, but I looked a lot younger then. So people weren't necessarily even taking me seriously. It was just, all the odds were just against me. But I knew that I had a goal. I knew that I had to get something done. And so the best way that I could do it, me being this millennial, was literally to hop on social media and go that route. So that's essentially how I built my real estate business. And here we are today.
So I want to share. I think we've got your website here that I want to share. So let me get that here. All right, so we've got your website, and I just want to show folks a little bit about what you're doing and some of the branding and things that you've got going on. You didn't start with a website like this.
No.
You obviously have grown and developed and put a lot of time, energy, and money into both your website and your YouTube channel. Here you guys can see he's got 21,000 subscribers and 1.1 million views. But you can see he's just a true expert when it comes to branding and building out his channels. And whether it's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's YouTube, he's just got everything nice and clean and very consistent. So tell me about how because obviously you did Facebook and did some Facebook marketing early on, but at some point you evolved away from Facebook leads and paid Facebook as being like your #1 source of business. So where are you getting business today, and how important is the organic reach of your website and your blog posts, the SEO, the YouTube optimization, and things that you're doing that just reach your organic market?
Great question. To be honest with you, I feel like my organic reach has got me further than any type of paid reach has. When you're paying for something such as exposure, I mean, you're there for a minute, and then when you stop paying, you're gone. There's a lot of things in my business that attract leads and attract referrals that I put out there 5 years ago, when I first started. There's lead magnets and ebooks out there for my real estate business that I literally forgot that I even did, that continue to bring in business. For the stage that I'm in right now, Facebook leads are pretty much like, I don't pay anyone for Facebook leads. I I use Facebook more for an exposure type of deal, to raise awareness about something, for just brand consistency. If I'm running ads, it's most likely just getting people in one of our open houses, or getting, highlighting one of my new team members, or more just from a brand exposure standpoint versus a lead generating standpoint. A lot of the things that we do in my organization right now, we're truly running a business, and we just can't put all of our efforts and everything into Facebook ads. I mean, they were great at one time. They were very great, just like Craigslist was great at one time for a lot of buyer leads. I mean, I built a huge database of cash buyers from Craigslist. I built a pretty good database from Facebook leads. But as we're getting into these years now, where it's almost like information overload, and especially in the real estate industry, when somebody gets wind that something works, then everybody starts doing it, and it's just overwhelming. You really have to set yourself apart, and things are going more back to that, like organic, like calling on the phone, hosting events, throwing massive open house events, networking stuff, getting out there, pounding the pavement. We're getting such better results of that stuff, and it's coming quicker than sitting around spending all this money on Facebook ads and having to spend all this time and months trying to convert the leads. And Facebook is getting so expensive, and it's just not the best use of our time.
Yeah, and I'm seeing more and more people move in the direction of looking at branding, looking at organic strategies, looking at making sure that they're posting consistent blog content. I think for years people got away from that because it was so inexpensive to run Facebook traffic. You could get so much exposure and generate so many leads. You almost had to, because those of us who knew what we were doing knew that there was no way that it was going to sustain at that price. And so it's more of a, at least in my mind, I worked, it was, it's going to be more expensive. So they've been, build it, and get it while you can, because once it gets saturated, once everybody jumps on, prices are going to skyrocket. And then where you're going to see things shake out is those who have the foundation and the things that are cornerstones of any good marketing campaign, like a blog, like a well-done website, like video content, like a YouTube channel. So for myself and people like you, who didn't 100% rely on Facebook, all of the changes that have come, real estate has been hit really hard with, you can't target homeowners. The real estate commissions are becoming so incredibly stringent on compliance and what you can and can't say, who you can and can't target. You can't even target zip codes, or they say that's against Fair Housing Acts. And Facebook is constantly declining ads because it's for housing. You have to do all these validations, and it's become for a lot of people a nuance more than anything. And because of the lack of targeting that you used to, that we once had, it's got so broad that the lead quality has diminished, exponentially over just the last 12 months. And so people who had all their eggs in that basket are now scrambling around because they don't have the things that you really need to have in order to build a sustainable business. And at some point, as an advertiser, and you let me know if this is, if you're at that point. But for me, it was all paid traffic, right? Nobody knew who I was. So the only way to get people to my blog, to get people to watch my YouTube videos, to get people to my Facebook page was to pay for traffic and get in front of people. And so at some point, my paid traffic is here, my organic traffic is here, but the goal is to get those to change positions. And I want people going to search engines and finding me organically and finding me for free and getting referred to me and coming direct to my site, coming back to my site. And I can remember the day a couple of years ago when I finally looked at my stats and I saw that my #1 referring site was no longer Facebook and it was now Google. And I was like, yes, it's finally happening. And today I spend a fraction of what I used to spend on paid ads, particularly on Facebook, than what I did when I first started, yet my business is still growing. And I think ultimately it's a, you know, it's a proverbial hamster wheel that you're going to be running in if all you're doing is generating Facebook leads. Because like Jason said earlier, once that stops, then you have nothing without the cornerstone and the foundation of the organic reach and building the list and nurturing that database and, you know, grounding and pounding, for lack of a better term. And so many people have gotten spoiled behind the computer screen of prospecting that they don't know how to make a phone call anymore. They don't know how to network anymore. They've missed networking events because they saw, oh, I got leads coming in, you know, day and night. I don't need to go network. I don't need to, you know, build my sphere. I don't need to be active in the community, in the chamber. And now I see a shift of those people are struggling. I think we're going to see some interesting things happen over the next 12 to 24 months with people going away because they don't have a sustainable model. So for you, Chastin, the question would be, you know, are you at the point where your traffic that you do get, is that coming organically, or is paid traffic your number one source of business to your website and to your YouTube channel?
No, I'm gonna say it's 100% organic nowadays. And like I said, the paid traffic that I do use is more of just like a supplement and more from a place of brand awareness, because, you know, a lot of things that I do run like retargeting ads, you know, to where if someone goes to one of my pages, then they'll continue to see it. But as far as running like YouTube ads or Google ads or, you know, all of those things, I'm not really doing here on my end. I think it's important to note that when you get into this organic SEO stuff, it's a long play, you know, but it can be extremely, extremely fruitful. But you have to start, I mean, and you have to start early, and you have to really research this stuff and get these things going. But yeah, I like most of my stuff is truly organic.
And I think, you know, the takeaway out of that the statement is, if you caught it, is, you know, it takes a long time to get to that place. So what that tells me is that people who are getting organic, they're not dependent upon Facebook leads or Google leads or YouTube leads. That means they've been around a while. They've outgrown that stage of paid traffic, and it's not that appealing to them. So, you know, let's talk about what top producers are looking for in referral partners. Obviously, as a realtor, I'm sure you get hit up all the time by title companies, home inspectors, appraisers, insurance agents, you know, mortgage lenders. Everybody is pounding on your door saying, hey, can I get a piece of that pie over there? And by the way, you know, your business is still growing in the absence of paid ads. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what are you looking for in these referral relationships? Because, you know, let's talk particularly about insurance agents. You know, their insurance agents will, you know, real estate agents and loan officers are like the lifeblood of a referral agent or of an insurance agent when it comes to referrals. But a lot of insurance don't know what to do to get in front of guys like yourself. They don't know how to get in front of top producers. There's a big misconception out there that the way to do it is to learn how to do Facebook, to join some kind of mastermind and learn how to generate home buyer and home seller leads, and then go knocking doors or sending out you know, Facebook messages saying, hey, I'm a marketing guru. I can help you generate, you know, leads on Facebook. And that being a value proposition that will set them head and shoulders above anybody else. What is your take on that? And as an, you know, an insurance agent that comes to you and claims to be a marketing guru, or tell you they're in I'm in XYZ mastermind and I can help you grow your business with Facebook advertising. What is your take on that? And what are you looking for from a referral partner as it pertains to insurance?
Can I just be completely candid?
Oh, please.
Honestly, that is probably one of the most annoying things that can happen. You know, someone, for one, I'm not gonna lie, like, because of my following, I get probably 30 of those DMs a day from not just insurance agents, from marketing firms, from people in other countries who have taken a Udemy course and now they're an expert. I mean, it's just all over the place. And that to me has zero value, to the point where we're not even going to continue with the conversation. You know, I'm not broke. And so if I needed to hire somebody to generate Facebook leads, I could do it time and time again. I'm truly running a real estate business over here. And so for me, it can't, like, any referral partnership that I do, at my level, it has to be something that can help this real estate machine run the way that it does. It's not just me. I have agents, I have staff, I have a lot going on. And so what I look for in a referral partner is truly someone who can come in as a business partner for not only me and helping my name, but to also help my agents and build my actual real estate business. I tell people all the time, like, I've never been that person who you can just take to lunch, or who you can throw me a Facebook lead or something that came through one of your forms, and next thing you know, we're doing a bunch of business together. That's just not how it works. But you can ask any referral partner that I do a lot of business with, and they have sat and performed seminars with me, to where we're all on stage talking. They have led masterminds with me. They have made sure that my team was always educated on things that were going on. We have built systems around our processes together. Any way that we're out here pounding the pavement to get this business, they're alongside doing it with us. Um, a lot of people who I work with, they know that my whole thing is, you have to bring a lot of value to me. And a lunch, a $10, $15 cheeseburger is not valuable to me at all. So if there's a way that one can help build this business, keep this machine running, provide a lot of value to my agents, those are the people who I will sit and have a conversation with and figure out what we can do together. And, like, I know that was just like high level, but that's truly what it is.
Yeah, and I talked to a lot of top producers, and we've got a couple of other interviews. I know we're going to talk with somebody who you work with, Brian McCauley, as a top loan officer, and I kind of talked with him about getting some time. And he's somebody that I worked with, and he actually was one of the people that I originally used in my insurance business as a referral partner early on in his business, and I was able to truly help him grow. And I can promise you, even back then, he didn't want Facebook leads. What he wanted was somebody who understood the product, who had great service, who he could get a hold of, who his clients could get a hold of, who represented themselves professionally in a manner that he was okay with, that he would invite you to his house or invite you to dinner, somebody that he could consider a friend, but then also had a good company behind them, great service, and didn't clog up the sales process. In fact, they did whatever they could to make it more seamless and create a better customer experience. And today, he's still looking for those things. In fact, he will shut a conversation down if somebody starts talking about Facebook leads or whatever mastermind they're in. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He's extremely busy, 50, 60, $70 million a year in production. He doesn't have time to do that. He's got plenty in his pipeline, and his guys have their day full, and they don't want to be interrupted with Facebook leads. They want somebody who can jump into a well-oiled machine, and if they have any systems along the way that can help enhance that customer experience, he's all about it. Today, I still work with Brian, and I still work with you, and we helped your process with bringing in the Utility Connect and Moving Hub platform to make that well-oiled machine continue to run successfully and offer another layer of service and value to your customers by bringing in this concierge platform that adds another level of service that you don't have to touch, that's hands-off for you, and that handles all of the utilities, the moving companies, the insurance agent, the home inspector, the cable companies, and everything else in between, all done on a white labeled basis, and the kinds of basis folks are looking for, not necessarily Facebook leads. So, as a partner with Utility Connect, tell me a little bit about what drew you to that system, and why you're using it and how it's helped your business.
Yeah, absolutely. What I really appreciated about that was that it was something that I could easily work into my business. Like it was literally like a on and off switch, and I really liked that y'all set me up with a like web page, to where it was truly white labeled and with my logo on there, to where I could easily integrate it into my existing processes. It was so easy to onboard with my team members, but then clients actually really appreciated it. Like it wasn't just something that was clogging the system. It was part of the process that had to be done anyway. But instead of it being, okay, well, I've introduced you to a lender. Okay, well, I've introduced you to an insurance agent. Okay, now I have to introduce you to, your home security people. Like none of that. It was just, okay, hey, we're at this step now. Use this link to get this set up, and that'll take care of that. It's a free service to you. We have partnered with the right people to make sure that you are well taken care of. It was just so easy to integrate into my existing processes, and that's the type of thing that, like, I know that my team finds value in it. It's a huge selling point for us, and it's easy for the end client to use. So it's, again, it wasn't clogging up anything. It wasn't a distraction.
Right. And just candidly speaking, do you think somebody coming to you telling you that they've got Facebook leads, does that interrupt your business model as you're already sitting here and you've got your team busy? We could see them in the back. They're already working on things. Somebody comes in and they start tossing 5 or 10 new leads at you a day. What does that do for your business? What do you have to do in order to even work those leads?
Well, for like me as a team leader, I need to, for one, get those leads qualified, because kind of we have a system here. So it's not just throwing leads left and right. We have to get this lead qualified, and depending on what stage they're at, A, B, or C, then they're going to get routed to whichever agent I think would be best for them at their space. They need to get put in our systems. If these things were just coming through, especially to like my email address, like it would probably get unnoticed because I have so much going on, but it would just interrupt the whole flow of things. Um, and
So
so,
yeah, somebody with
it's
systems
just
and
not the
processes.
way that I choose.
I'm sorry. Yeah, somebody with systems and
I'm sorry.
processes. So it's gonna interrupt and distract what you've already got going. It's not as easy as like, okay, I'll just take your Facebook leads. It's going to be something where, okay, hey, I've got to sit down with the team. We've got to figure out how this is going to work into our existing systems. How are we going to put it into our CRM? What is the sales process and follow-up process like? Now we got to bring the lender in and let him know we've got a new source of leads coming in. Get his team involved because he's got a process and how he's working them. So when you're dealing with somebody like Chase and Brian, who have very specific processes, they know where their business is coming from, and they've got very definitive ways in which those are worked. To just start throwing emails at them and saying, hey, work this, it doesn't work like that. These aren't guys who are sitting around waiting for the phone to ring or waiting for an opportunity that they can see, oh shit, a lead, great, I don't have anything else to do. It's not that simple. And so I think the idea that, hey, if you can generate Facebook leads, go out and send a couple leads and then call somebody, or whatever your approach is, that being your smoking gun is just not going to sit well. If anything, it's going to make somebody like Chaston or another top producer cringe of like, oh God, not another one of these. That again was cool 5 years ago. It's not to say that if you do know how to generate leads and market on Facebook, that at some point you guys could evolve and work that into their system. I'm sure that Chaston would say, hey, let's get everything working. Let's make sure that you're a good fit for my clients. Let's make sure that the team works well with you. Let's make sure that my lender works well with you. And assuming all of that goes well, okay, now that we're working together, let's sit down and mastermind once a month and see how we can continue to grow my business. And if you have something of value to bring and say, hey, Chaston, I can do X, Y, and Z, then you guys can take a look at how to integrate that. But I just don't think that's going to be the lead in to get in front of somebody like Chaston or another top producer. Chaston, anything on that? Would you correct me on that if I'm wrong?
No, yeah, I mean, everything you said is absolutely correct. And, you know, we have our processes, we have our major lead sources, we have our systems. I mean, even down to what script we use with each different specific type of lead. Yeah, opening up another door is, especially a door like that, is something that, you know, it's gonna take a couple of sales meetings behind. It's gonna take a few, you know, trainings. And I've worked a good amount of Facebook leads in the past, and I know how those leads are. They're not the same, you know. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
And how long did it take you to
How long did it take you
when you
to
looked at Connect and bringing this into the system?
bringing this in?
How long did it take you to decide on whether or not that would be something that would work well with you, and how long was it to get implemented?
It probably took 48 hours. You know, simply because it's something that, you know, is a value added service that these, I mean, clients needed anyway. So it was simply a matter of getting our page looking how we needed it to look, and adding a web link to one of our existing emails that we send out, telling them, you know, because literally one of our processes, there was actually an email that still gets sent today. It says you will want to go ahead and contact your utility providers about getting your utility switched over by this date. You know, the lights and stuff are not guaranteed to stay on, and the sellers are probably going, like, I already had these lines in the emails. So it was literally a matter of, to have this done for you, click this link. And that was it. And it went in our systems. It gets automatically sent out. It wasn't anything that I had to, you know, necessarily like train about. It was just a matter of having a conversation with everybody on the team, saying, hey, this is what this service does. We're gonna let this be something that we lead with, that's able to provide value to our clients. It's totally optional, you know. And I've added this line to the email. So it didn't take training around. It didn't. I mean, it was pretty self-explanatory.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, I really appreciate you giving us some insight, sharing your story with us. Guys, go to ChastinJMiles.com. Check him out on YouTube. Follow him on Facebook. He's just a wealth of information. It's really good to connect with folks like Chastin and see kind of what they're doing, and let that be a sort of a guiding model for which you should look for. Guys, if you're going to go after somebody and you lead with the fact that you can generate a Facebook lead and they jump up and down about that, the only reason they're excited about your Facebook lead is because they don't have any leads. That's not the type of referral partner that you should be after. You should be after the top producers. In order to get a top producer, you're going to have a different conversation. You need to bring something innovative to the table, something like utility companies. And that's what we're going to be doing in Referral Hub. We're going to teach you how to connect with guys like Chastin and other top producers in your local market, as well as plug into existing relationships that we already have. So please check Chastin out. Watch his content. It's amazing to watch him grow. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us, Chastin, and we'll hopefully have you again.
Awesome. Look forward to it.